After Dad died, I took care of Mom, doctor appointments, groceries, every bill. I skipped college to stay close. One day, I opened the mailbox and found a house deed transfer. She gave everything to my younger brother. When I asked why, she said, "He deserves a fresh start. You're not going anywhere anyway." I slept in my car that night. A week later, I made a call that changed everything. I was 19 when my dad died. It was a heart attack. Fast and brutal. One minute we were outside. He was checking the grill, talking about getting ribs next time, and the next he dropped. Just dropped. Face down on the concrete. My mom screamed, so loud I felt it in my teeth. I called 911, tried CPR, but he was already gone. They said it was massive. Quick. He didn't suffer. That's supposed to make it better. It didn't. After that, everything kind of stopped. My mom didn't speak much. She sat in Dad's recliner every day, half-dressed, staring at the TV like she was watching something real. I kept expecting her to snap out of it. She didn't. I was supposed to leave for college in 2 months. Arizona State. I'd worked my ass off to get in. Got a partial scholarship. I had a roommate lined up, was looking at books, even started shopping for bedsheets. But after the funeral, I knew I wasn't going anywhere. Not with Mom like that. So I stayed. Told the school I was deferring for a year. Then I got a job at the local Safeway. It was nothing glamorous, just stocking shelves, bagging, helping old ladies with their carts. But it paid. I used that money to pay bills. The water, the electric, gas for her car. I bought her medicine, groceries. I drove her to her doctor appointments. I cleaned the house. I took over everything. She didn't even say thank you most days. If I mentioned how tired I was or asked her to maybe cook once in a while, she'd say, "Don't guilt me. I lost my husband." So I stopped asking. Meanwhile, my younger brother, Kyle, was out living his dream. College in Colorado. Some music program. He'd show up for Christmas or once in the summer, always with some new girl who wore too much eyeliner and called my mom sweetheart like she was 90. He'd make a big show of being there, then spend most of the trip arguing with her about money. I heard him once say, "You don't support me like you support him." He meant me, which was insane. I wasn't getting support. I was supporting her. Then one day, random Wednesday afternoon, I checked the mail. Just like I always did. There was an envelope from a law firm. Thick, formal-looking. Addressed to Mom. I don't know what made me open it. Maybe I was just tired of everything being a secret. Maybe I already knew. Inside was the transfer paperwork for the house. She'd signed it over to Kyle. All of it. The only thing we had left that mattered. Dad's house. The house he built the front porch on. The house I stayed in when I could have been building my own life. I walked inside. She was on the couch, watching some court show. I held up the envelope and said, "What is this?" She didn't even look away from the TV. She said, "He deserves a fresh start. You're not going anywhere anyway." That hit me harder than anything anyone had ever said. She didn't mean it to be cruel. That was just how she saw me, stuck. Stationary. Not going anywhere. She gave him the house because he was going places and I was just here. Convenient. Expected. I didn't say a word. Just walked out. I drove around for hours. Didn't know where I was going. I ended up sleeping in my car behind a gas station off Route 9. I used my hoodie as a pillow and didn't sleep much. The inside of the windshield fogged up. I stared at it until the sun came up. I didn't go home the next day. I couldn't. Instead, I made a call. To my dad's sister, Carol. We hadn't spoken in years. She lived in Nevada, had this little cabin near the mountains. When I was a kid, we'd go up there in the summer. I remembered her saying at the funeral, real quiet, just to me, "If you ever need a place to go where nobody lies to you, call me." The morning after I got to Aunt Carol's place, she made coffee, and we sat at her kitchen table. It was the first time in months I didn't feel like I had to brace myself for something. No one needed anything from me. No errands. No bills. She handed me a manila folder. I didn't ask for it. She just slid it across the table and said, "Your dad left you something." I was told to give it to you when the time was right. Inside were copies of documents, a handwritten letter, and a life insurance policy I had no idea existed. $150,000. I was the sole beneficiary. It hit me like a wave. I just stared at the paper. My name on it, his signature. He'd set this up a year before he died. He never told Mom. The letter was short. Dad's handwriting was shaky in spots, but clear. He wrote, "If you're reading this, I guess I didn't make it. I'm proud of you, even if I never said it enough. I set this money aside, so you'd have options. Don't let anyone take that from you. You earned a life of your own." I couldn't breathe. Aunt Carol leaned in and said, "Your mom never knew." He didn't trust her with money. Said she'd give it to Kyle the second he asked. He was right. I stayed with Carol for a few weeks. I didn't tell anyone where I was. I got a job at a car part store in town. Started saving. I didn't touch the insurance money, not yet. I wanted to think. I needed to figure out what to do. Then one night, I got a voicemail from Kyle.
"Hey.
So, Mom's been freaking out. Says you ran off or something. Look, I'm just calling 'cause I need to talk. I've been trying to sort out the house stuff, and there's some paperwork missing. I thought maybe you had it." I didn't call back. But that's when I got an idea. If you wanted to play games with paperwork, I'd play harder. I remembered that Dad kept a fireproof box in the basement. It had old wills, tax records, property titles. I knew exactly where it was. And I knew my name had been on some of those things years ago. So I called up an old friend from high school, Alex. He worked at the county clerk's office now. I asked him to look up the deed transfer.
He did.
Turns out the deed had only been notarized but not fully processed by the county yet. It was still in my mom's name. That meant one thing: I had time. So I drove back. Quietly. Didn't tell Aunt Carol. Didn't tell anyone. Parked down the street. Snuck into the house late at night using my old key. The place smelled like stale coffee and laundry that hadn't been dried right. Mom was asleep in the recliner. Same spot. I went to the basement. The box was right where I left it, tucked behind a stack of unused Christmas decorations. Inside, I found the original will, dated 3 years before Dad died. In it, he left the house to me. Not Mom. Not Kyle.
Me.
I took photos of everything. Put it all back exactly how I found it. Left the house without making a sound. The next day, I sent everything to a lawyer in Carol's town. He told me what I already suspected. The house was never legally Kyle's. Not yet. And the original will carried more weight than the sloppy transfer my mom filed. So I filed a formal claim on the estate. That's when the screaming started. First from Mom. Voicemails that went from sad to furious. "How could you? After everything I gave up for you." Then Kyle, threatening to sue, calling me names he hadn't used since high school. But I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Because 3 weeks later, they both got served. Court date was set. The letter was dated 2 years before Dad died. It wasn't in an envelope, just folded up and placed between old tax returns like someone tried to forget about it. It started off normal, my mom talking about bills, Kyle's tuition, things like that. But halfway through, it turned sharp. She wrote, "I'm tired of pretending. You keep saying he's not your favorite, but it's obvious. You give him advice, you give him time, you even talk to him like he's a grown man. You treat Kyle like a mistake we owe something to. I can't keep doing this. I need to know that when you're gone, I'm not stuck cleaning up your loyalty to a son who never leaves." I read it 3 times. Then a 4th. She meant me. That part about a son who never leaves. That was about me. She didn't mean it as a compliment. She saw my loyalty as a burden. Something that trapped her. I always thought staying was the right thing. That I was helping. But to her, I was just the leftover. The one who stuck around because I had nothing better to do. That's when I started thinking differently. This wasn't just about money. Or the house. It was about how they saw me. How they'd always seen me. Kyle was the one with problems. But he was exciting. He got chances. He got resets. I was just there, doing the dishes, making sure the lights stayed on. A week before court, Kyle showed up at Carol's. No warning. Just pulled into the gravel driveway in his beat-up Corolla and started banging on the door. I told Carol to stay inside. He looked rough, thinner, eyes darting everywhere. He said, "We need to talk. Please." I stepped out onto the porch. He said, "I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know about the will. Mom told me it was hers to give. I thought you just left." I didn't say anything. Then he said, "I can't lose this house. I've got debt, man. Like serious debt. If I lose this house, I'm F." He stopped. I stared at him. That's when it clicked. The real reason he wanted the house. It wasn't about a fresh start. It wasn't even about family. He was in over his head. And Mom knew. She gave him the house to bail him out. I said, "You didn't even check to see if it was legal." He looked away. I said, "You knew you were drowning and you pulled me under with you." He didn't respond. I didn't invite him inside. He stood there a few more minutes like he was expecting something. Maybe forgiveness. Maybe for me to say it was okay. But I just turned around and shut the door. 2 days later, Mom finally called me. Not to apologize. Not to explain. But to threaten. She said, "If you go through with this, you'll ruin everything. You'll split this family." I said, "There hasn't been a family in a long time." She hung up. But she wasn't done. The next day, I got a notice from my bank. Someone had tried to access my account using my old login info. 3 times. I changed everything. Passwords. PINs. Froze my credit. I even pulled the rest of the insurance money and moved it into a new account at a credit union in Carrollstown. She tried to shut me out of the house. But I wasn't done yet. I hadn't even told her about the letter I found. The one that proved she knew the will existed. And ignored it anyway. She still calls sometimes, leaves voicemails like none of it happened. Like I didn't sleep in my car because of her. Like she didn't hand over everything to the one person who never showed up until there was something to take. I don't answer anymore. And I don't feel guilty. Not even a little. What gets me is she really thought I'd never do anything because I never left. And maybe that's what pisses me off the most. She thought being there meant I didn't matter.